computer. Cool, we're gonna set up a Lean project. So we're gonna do learning Lean, add new. Oh, I think yeah, I couldn't find one for Lean, I think. So we're gonna just use a Python one. So this is our repo for learning Lean. So the first thing is that I'm just gonna add some README files that would be nice to have there. So this one is the first one. Um, it just basically tells us how to run the install script that we're gonna use. Cool. Okay, cool. Now that we have that, let's just do the git clone. So git clone, this is sort of standard stuff. Git clone. Um, let's see. Okay, cool. Now that we have this, we can add folder to workspace. Um, okay, sounds cool. Awesome. We have this now. Um, okay, great. So now I'm gonna write this, I don't know, this install script that I have for running the commands to install Lean or set up a Lean project that I have. Basically, it's very simple. Like if you go to the official instructions, they have these instructions, and I'm let's see, which one do we have open? Lean projects. Yeah, so we can read this and creating Lean projects. So this one's the one that is important that I'm using. Um, yeah, so the first thing they say is to run this command. And what this does is create like a new Lean repo, or it creates a new folder. I think this installs Mathlib. We'll see. Actually, we'll run everything and let's see what happens. CD learning lean. Um, so now that we have learning lean, ls, so the first thing that the command says is to do like that, right? So that's this command. We're just going to call it. So the way I'm going to set up the project repo is a little bit unconventional. Usually the main folder of your repo is the Lean project like this. But for us, so basically Git Lake or the developers of Lean expect your learning Lean, or at least when I run these commands according to their instructions, because it creates a Git repo for me without my permission, basically. Expects this to be a Git repo. So what I'm going to do is just going to pretend that I'm like a machine learning developer. So I'm going to create one folder for Lean source and one folder for Python source. And to do that, I'm going to run the commands that they show and modify it a little bit. I think proof assist, um I have some sort of question I asked recently. Uh mm, view all questions. Okay. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, so we can see this as a reference if we want later, but let's just follow the official instructions and see where things need to change. So first so also I think the main issue that I used to have was that I didn't, so when you click the icon on VS Code, it assumes you open from home instead of the root of the directory, and then that creates problems in like the system path here down here in the terminal for which compiler of Lean to use. I think something like that is the intuition. I think the details are here. You can just read these details. For now, I'm just gonna set it up. So I'm at the repo. I create the folder for Lean source code. Um, so the instructions say, don't worry about like this weird nightly thing. Sure, okay, then let's just not worry about it then. Let's just believe them. That's option one. Oh, I think this option two, what is it? Let me read it. Okay. Okay, so this is an issue. If you try to git clone the repo, but we have already created the lean source file, um, you need to do option 2. I'll explain why in a second. It will be sort of obvious why. So we cd into the lean project. That is like the folder that we need a cd into. We run this lake install. Let's just run it. Um, so go inside the my project. So my project for us is lean source project. We type lake update and then lake exec and lake exe, I don't know, lake exe cache get, and then we create another folder where the actual lean code is gonna be in. So just to recall, so this will be like the real root of the project of their Git repo. This will be the root of the lean source code. And inside the lean source code, you can have multiple other folders where you organize your lean files. You know, one might be for analysis, one might be for topology, and that's inside here. Does that make sense? Any questions while we wait for this to run?
Wait, so the home folder is like just where everything lives on your computer, and then the Lean source code folder is just like you don't touch that. That's where like Lean gets its instructions on how to work, and then you can make other folders of your own if you want to make projects. Is that
Um,
how it works?
Sort of. Like home is like just an environment variable in your computer that points
Hmm.
somewhere. So this will point
Oh.
to different places, and it'll point to, in this one, it'll be like in the expected place in your Mac. But like
Hmm.
this has documents, I think, or oh no, sorry, sorry, cd home and change directory to home, ls. Like I think there is like a cd documents. You know, like basically it's
Hmm.
like your computer, and the computer
Okay.
has these environment variables, and you can echo their value. Like this is some sort of, I think it's SSH, which is like it's a terminal command language.
Hmm.
Well, that's sort of complicated. It's a terminal and there's a language, but basically Bash is the more popular one. So let's just pretend this is Bash. Echo is like a Bash. You can do like man echo, and it'll tell you, you'll go into this documentation to see what it is about. You can press Q to
Hmm.
exit. You can do echo dash dash help echo. Oh, it didn't work. Or, oh, it's just echoing that string. Okay, so I don't know if this command works. Like usually this, yeah. So usually this dash dash helps works for commands so that you know like details about it. Oh, Python. I'm just okay. Yeah, it does. Okay, what? Okay, actually, I showed you environment variables for Python. So these are like the
Hmm.
automatic variables, let's see, that Python sets up so that Python works basically. So the computer knows how to run things. Okay, right now this is
Hmm.
T, but like Lean has things like this. I don't know if Lean is, oh, Lean does do something. Okay, and anyway, but Lean probably has its own environment variables to know what thing to use to run the interpreter or the compiler.
Hmm.
Um, just one more thing, cd tilde is the same as cd home. Um, cool. Any questions? I think the lake update ran, so we're still at this bullet point. I'm gonna run this one. The next command. Go inside this, and I, yeah, I think, okay, this worked. Um, Yeah, so now this folder was empty. Now it has stuff. The main thing
Hmm.
it did is this .lake file. Usually this .lake, like dot files are hidden so you can't see it. But .lake file is, I think, all the packages that are installed. I think Matlab is here, all of Matlab. Oh, here it is.
Oh.
So that all of those commands installed Matlab. I think there is a better way to do this. We could ask ChatGPT for like a command. I think it's like du something. But I'm just gonna use it's like 4 GB.
Whoa.
So okay, this actually connects to this file called git ignore. So this tells Git what files not to track. I don't remember. Did we already? I don't think we actually copied our version of it. So this is the one I have for Lean and Python files. Okay, so this one, now we've added a bunch of Lean stuff. Let's see, where's the comment for Lean? So now it will make sure not to, I think there should be some .lean. Somehow, .lake. It somehow knows not to track .lake. Oh, there it is, the first one. It knows not to like save to Git a 5 GB file. Um, so that means that when you git clone this repo, you're gonna have to um actually this in my experience, this command doesn't work if the folder already exists. So when you git clone, we can actually try to do it from scratch in one of your computers in a second. But when you git clone the entire repo, this folder lean src um, will come down from git repo, but it won't have lake. But if you run this command, it will complain that it already exists. So in that case, you have to run these commands
Oh, so option one is for if you're making like
from
the
scratch.
project from scratch.
Yes,
Option two is if you're cloning the project. I
yes,
see.
exactly.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yes, just because of that, just because I suppose that I didn't really, well, you don't have to do the optimal solution, I guess, but I didn't know how to make one command that worked for both options. So, or I don't, or whoever helped me, or GPT, or whatever I did to find these commands for us. Um, yeah, that's it. Um, yeah, I mean, in fact, these commands are the same as these commands, right? Um, cool. Anyway, so let's now make the directory. Um, well, let's pretend we're doing some project inside of our lean source code. We cd into the project. This command tells to echo to the screen, um, to the std out actually this string, but we're redirecting it to this lean file that we want to create. It should create this lean file, and let's see if it actually allows me to. Okay, it doesn't let me do matlib. So that means that we have to follow the instructions from this Stack Overflow question. The question and the answer is your screenshot indicates that you're opening VS Code in home. You need to open, okay. For example, okay, so okay, now this reminds me how to do it. Let's see. Let's add to the workspace that folder. I think that works. It should work. I don't know if we need to open it. Let's try it now. Oh, it worked. Woohoo! That's it. So the install worked basically. Any
Wait, so what just happened? Why
so
did
yeah,
adding that folder?
well, I don't know how we could look. So this is one of those times when you like learn that digging deeper might not be that interesting. Like if we VS Code likely has, so if you do shift command P, it gives you a bunch of different commands. So if you go to like settings or something in VS Code and just look at the file, if we like tinker around enough with all of VS Code and the terminal setup with it, if you remember, I showed you this path. Um, oh, start lean server. I don't know why it decided that there's an error. But echo, if you do echo home, there's this variable, right? So
Hmm.
if you do echo, um what is I think is it path? Okay. So this is like a path to a bunch of executables. So bin is like binding
Hmm.
to execute commands. So somehow there's some sort of environment variable in lean in the terminal in the VS Code. And funnily, sometimes I've noticed that the terminal the integrated terminal in VS Code and this one work differently. So the point is that there might be three different environments with environment variables to know where the binaries to run stuff are. And right now, somehow VS Code is happier if I open this folder. Somehow it got
Hmm.
happy now. I don't know if it was just because of that. This was working a second ago. Okay, restart. We can figure. Okay, it's working now again, I think. No errors. I don't
Is
know.
it the O at
I
the
think
end
you
of
have an O at the end of it. Yeah.
the logical space? Yeah.
But Yeah, that's it basically. By opening lean SRC, I asked in Zulip and the lean Zulip and Stack Overflow until I got it working. And that's it
Hmm.
basically. Uh
Okay.
it isn't super interesting. I'm just gonna now cd to the maybe to the root of the project. Um and we're gonna do git add. So Git has multiple stages for saving files. So first I'm going to do git add, oh git status. Okay, this is why it didn't work. Okay, cd lean. So when you do at least from scratch, when you do the option one, it creates a git repo inside of lean src. So I'm just going to delete it. I should probably have done ls lh so you guys see all the things before I delete it. But now you can't really see that I deleted this file. I wonder, does it send what does it do if I delete? Okay, so because it's not there anymore, and when it wasn't there, it also outputted the same thing to the screen. It'll be a little tricky to for you to really see that I actually deleted something. But anyway, you
Hmm.
usually don't run this type of command. This is just this time in lean because it's not letting me when I do option one, setting up the lean source from scratch, it didn't let me it didn't let me have git work basically because it detected that there were two git repos. Actually, if we do ls-lh, there should be um oh, darn. Remove the, oh no, maybe that's fine. As long as we're not adding it to Git, that's fine. But look, here's this folder that wouldn't usually be shown. I think maybe it's just this one. ls. And you can ask man ls and you can see all the options if you want to know what they mean. Um, yeah, so a combination of man help dash help or dash h and GPT-4 are like the ways I remember syntax. I do try to remember it so that I can be quicker at development. Okay, so let's just try to keep doing this. Git status, git add, we already did that. Git commit. So tested, set up for learning lean. So short but good. Um, com Commit messages are good because they will help us track things. So before I push, let's just see which git commit we are on. So we should be like on like nearly the first one. Yeah, we did this like a couple of minutes ago. Oh, this is the one we just did. Cool. And this one's telling us, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this one's telling us something about the commit in remote maybe. There's maybe more options to do things like that. But honestly, I don't think anyone, well, at least I don't think too many people know Git excellently. Um, for researchers, maybe if you're a real developer, you do, but you start picking it up. But anyway, Git push, Git log. Let's see what happened. Okay, yeah, now it's saying that the two match. So, so the commits um downstream in the Git repo match the ones here locally. And yeah, nothing to commit. That's it. We did it. Um, cool. Any questions? No? Eric, Emily? I think this
No,
is
no problems.
super interesting. You just do it once and it works. Last thing, let's just save the workspace. Um, I like to save it in, so I don't know. I think it creates, I don't know if it creates problems with, um, if I save it in the repo. I'm not 100% sure if it creates problems with the rest of my collaborators if they have a different workspace for their project and I save it to like the Git repo. But I guess you can always open whatever workspace folder you want. I'm just gonna save it here right now. I'm just gonna press enter and it should saved. And let's just and that should be enough. Cool. Let's see. let's try to do that. So let's pretend that we're cloning the repo from scratch for the first time. So it's not going to let me do it here because it already exists. So I'm just going to pretend to make some sort of temp directory. Um, I'm going to do, we're going to do git clone. Okay. Um, then what would we do? Um, let's go with VS Code and have it open that workspace. It's not letting me open save workspace, add folder to workspace. Save should
Shouldn't it
be
be open folder on the top?
workspace from file. There you go. So now oh, that's the previous one. So that's not what we want. Sorry. Um, so let's just pretend we're working with a new one, right? So we do temp cd temp3. We already did this. So let's do code. I don't know if it let me open code from here. Oh, okay. It opened normal VS Code. Um, um, let's see. What are we doing? Okay, so we opened it. Yeah, there's no dot. Or actually, I don't know if it should show that. Oh yeah, dot git is here, so you can infer that dot lake should be here. Um, let's just. I don't think I have my VS Code. So I use VS Code Insiders. So that's not the same VS Code as that one. I'm just gonna open the folder as Emily suggested. I'm just gonna open this folder. Okay, so it shouldn't. Let's just sanity check that it shouldn't. That yeah, Lean doesn't know what mathlib is. Makes sense, right? We expected that error. Um, so what we should do was we cd into lean src, and when we do the option 2, lean update. So this was a command that takes a little bit. Um, so this command and this command are like the same, right? Actually, why don't we actually, I'm just gonna delete this. I'm gonna do a test. So let's just actually demonstrate that this doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Good. That's always good to double check things like that. So we wait for mathlib to be installed, I suppose, for gigs point something. Um, yeah, any questions, guys, while this is doing stuff?
I just noticed this, but you know how in the lake and then plus Ling Prover slash Ling 4, what is the nightly 2023 0204?
Yeah, so this comes from
Wow.
from
Two.
their official instructions in Lean.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm just sort of following what they're suggesting. Um, Someone in the Stanford Lean Prover Club suggested that I change that. But their official instructions say it doesn't matter. Um, I don't like so far in my lean development, I haven't had a problem. So I'm just sort of running
Mm,
the commands the official lean developer told me to run.
yes. Okay, okay. So it comes from there. There.
Yes, yes.
That
I think
makes
I
sense.
actually have a reference here at the top of it. So
Okay, okay.
and honestly, you should always refer to like the official, this web page has a lot of stuff.
Wait, if they update lean, would that date change? Because I think their justification for adding the date is that yeah, it has the recent version of lean.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's well, do not worry about the date in the previous command. It ensures you will use a sufficiently recent version of Lake, but has no impact on the version of Lean your project will use. Of like, but has no impact on the version of Lean your project will use. Okay, so I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we just looked into what Lake is, and what all the options do, we would really we would find the real answer. But it's not really. It's the type of command you run once and then you
forget about it.
and then you don't really worry about it until it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Cool. So now it should work. It might not work. Unknown package. So we did install it properly. Okay, but we don't have the lean SRC here, right? Okay, now it should work. Um, okay, it worked, I think. So Shift Command P gives us to VS Code's command palette, lean info display goal. Yay! It tells us that topological space in some type universe U of X returns a type U, which is no bug, so I suppose that's what it's supposed to do. Awesome. Um, yeah, I'm gonna stop now. Any questions before I stop it?
Nope, all good.